and welcome to a Tinder Gin. So today we're going to be doing a feeding video. I'm going to be feeding my hatchling and grow on rack. I'm going to be feeding my adults, my females and my males as well. I've not shown off my females and adult males yet. That is going to be coming in another video, but today I'm going to be doing a feeding, so you are going to get a sneak peek of some of the ones that I've got. I'm going to be feeding everything today. Some stuff I've already fed. You can see the pegs behind me. The ones that got the pegs that are sort of half hanging off, just like that. They're the ones I have already fed, because I like to do a split feeding. I'll feed sort of a third one day, then I'll feed the rest another day, and it just suits me for when I go to work and the other things I am doing. So everything else is going to be fed today. A lot of the hatchlings and grow ones I've got on this side are for sale, so if you're interested then please message me. They're on my Morph Market, so you can go on there, find me under a Tinder Ginge, and you'll be able to see everything that I've got on there so far. The few of the bits that you're going to see as well will be going up for sale shortly, so it'd be a good idea just to follow me on Morph Market just so you know what is coming. With some of the stuff that I'm going to be feeding today, a lot of it is very good, a lot of it is strike feeding perfectly. I've got one or two that are just taking their time getting used to feeding, and they aren't actually feeding properly. I've tried them with live, they won't take live, so I am having to assist feed these guys. Hopefully they do take today. If they do take, that's brilliant. If not, I will show you how I assist feed them as well, so that just gives you a little insight into what I do. What we'll do is we're going to jump straight into this. I'm going to show you exactly what I go through, how I do everything, and then we're going to get into some cool feedings. Okay, so this is my sort of setup of what I've got. I've got my step ladder here just because my racks do go quite high. I like to be up nice and high so I can see where the snakes are when I'm going to feed them. I don't want to be pulling the tub out and disturb that snake. I want to try and get them to feel as comfortable as possible, so that just helps me get up nice and high. I've got my little bucket here, my little forceps on top, and that's just so I don't have to keep bending down into the bucket to get the rodents out. I can chuck a load on there at a time and then feed them off as I need to. And then down there I've got my bucket just full of everything defrosting. I chuck it all in one go, all the mice, all the rats, everything, they all go in one here. I don't worry about defrosting them separately, because I know a few people do that, but I've never had any issues with that. And with that, I literally just fill the bucket with hot water, I chuck the food in, let it defrost, and once it has defrosted I'll then change the water for some more warm water, and that way that heat just gives the snake something to lock onto. So that's basically my setup. I think when you are feeding, you just need to make it as easy for yourself as possible. I would suggest getting forceps that are a little bit longer, these, especially with the adult snakes. They've got such a long strike range on them. You do need to be careful with when you are feeding. And when you are feeding, there's a video that I watched from Gavin, creator of Balls to You. One of his videos was getting to know your snakes and learning their habits, and I found that video really helpful, because a lot of the time I was finding some of my snakes, they weren't feeding. I didn't understand why. I thought they're all the same, they're all kept in the same conditions, but it was only until I watched his video that he mentioned that certain snakes have certain behaviours, and once you get to know your snakes, you learn those behaviours. So some of my snakes like the food just to be dropped to the left, some will come flying out of the tub and try and eat your face, others you need to tease a little bit, some you have to go in very gently and ease the mouse into them. And it's just through owning the snake and feeding it and getting to know it, you know their habits and you know which way they are going to feed. So I think that's one of the most important things when feeding snakes, just get to know how your snake feeds and reacts to certain things. So we're going to jump in now. I'm going to get into the hatchling and grow on rack, and hopefully we'll get some cool shots of these, and I hope you enjoy. So what I'll do is I'll get a handful of time out like that, and I'll just let them dry off on the paper towel, and it just makes it a lot easier when I'm feeding, that's all. So now that they're dry, I'll literally have a little feel, test to make sure they're not too hot. They're just mildly warm basically, but again, a lot of my snakes are quite good feeders, so I don't need to worry about superheating them. They will literally just strike them straight away, so let's give it a try and see what happens. that's basically most of the hatchling rack and grown rack fed. There's a couple in there that don't want to eat. Some of them look like they are going into sheds, so I'm going to leave them alone, but there's two that won't feed, and they're the two that have been giving me a bit of trouble. I have been assist feeding them. So what I'm going to get into that shortly. I'm going to feed the adult females now, so we're going to have a quick look at them. They do scare me a little bit sometimes, I'm not going to lie. When they know it's feeding, I've had the food in the room for quite a while, they do get quite worked up and they get quite anxious, so I may get struck at quite a few times. Hopefully I can get it on camera for you to see. But yeah, I do enjoy feeding the adults, but I do get a little bit scared sometimes, so we're going to jump straight into that now, and hopefully I can do it without getting bitten. I'm normally quite good, but you know, knowing my luck, on camera I probably will get bit, so hopefully it's just going to go nice and smoothly. Oh my God. Now this is my bumblebee girl. I know there's a lot of talk about spider gene being dangerous and this and that, but she never misses a feed, never misses the rat. Like I said, these rodents aren't even warmed up, and you can see she had no problem locking onto that and taking that straight away. So yeah, I'm not going to go too much because what is the point, but yeah, there you go, there's my bumblebee girl. Stunning. Ooh, stay there. Whoa, stay. Whoa, no, that's me. That's me you're trying to eat. There's the rat. Blimey. Whew. Oh my God. Whew. Breathe. Oh, stay there, big boy. Oh, this guy is a pain in the arse. I've got to be quick with him. Oh my God. This girl scares me just a little bit. Ooh, no, that's me. It's me. Oh, I need to get some longer forceps. Whoa. Yeah. They do scare me. Okay, so now we're into my breeder male rack. This guy is a little bit sketchy, so no doubt he is going to come flying out and try and destroy my face. I'm going to try and leave this tub closed until I feed him. Oh, here we go. It's so sketchy watching the camera and not looking at what's happening, because this guy does fly me and it's so dodgy. Oof. Oh no, he's seen me already. Again with him, I've actually got to be dead quick, and he's starting to look at the camera, but literally as soon as it goes in, I've got to hide my hand, because normally he's bang on it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, go in. Oh no, stay there please. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I assist feed the ones that have been a little bit troublesome and not wanting to feed. It's quite easy to do it. The whole idea is you've got to have a lot of patience. Give the snake a lot of time, because you don't want to be forcing it and causing the snake any damage. So the whole idea of this is just taking your time, getting everything you need ready, and then just using the right technique to try and get that snake to want to feed, basically. The whole idea of this is just to try and get that natural feeding response to that snake. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm not going to be causing this snake any pain at all. Everything I'm doing here is very gentle. You often see that the snake will suddenly get out of my grip, and that's just where I'm hardly holding the snake that tight. I want to give it just enough pressure that it can't move too much, just so it gives me enough pressure that I can put the mouse into its mouth. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the snake behind the head just like that. Now I'm not exerting a lot of pressure. If you imagine you push down on your finger, you can see it goes white, you can see the difference in my thumbs. I let that go and it goes back to a normal colour. So that's how you know I'm putting hardly any pressure on this snake whatsoever. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my prey. I've got just a small mouse there, it's really small, so it should be easy for him to feed on. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently put this into the snake's mouth. Again, I'm not going to force it in too much, I'm literally just going to place that into the snake's mouth, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and trigger that natural reaction for that snake to bite down on that the prey item. I've not pushed it in too far, it's literally just placed into its mouth, and you're going to see the snake is going to squirm, it is going to move. Again, I'm not causing it any pain, all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get that natural feeding response of the snake. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold that mouse in there for a little bit. And again, it's all about having patience with your animal. You don't want to be trying to force this all the way down. Literally, if it doesn't want to eat, it's not going to eat basically. And I'm just going to try and do this to give it that best chance of actually surviving. So I'm just going to keep that in there for a little bit, and eventually I'm hoping that snake is going to realise that it's food, and by then hopefully it will bite down, maybe even crawl around the prey, and then it will take it by itself. So we're just going to give this a few minutes just to see what happens. So you can see the snake got out of my grip then. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, I'm going to take it behind the head again, hardly any pressure on its head. And again, I'm just going to take the prey item, I'm just going to place it back into its mouth. And again, I'm hoping I'm going to get that feeding response that it's going to bite down and then start to try and eat that prey. Okay, so what I've done now is I've just pushed that mouse head in. You can see I've just pushed that mouse head in a little bit more. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt to leave the snake with that in its mouth, and I'm going to hope that it will naturally just bite down on that prey. So there you see a little yawn, he sort of got his mouth ready to where he wanted it to be, and now he's eating that prey, and that's exactly what I want him to do. I don't want to make this a bad experience for him, because then every time I put the rodent in there he's going to think it's a bad experience, he's not going to want to eat. And I'll keep doing this as many times as it takes until he feeds. Now this is the third time I've had to do this with this little guy, he's just not got the hang of it yet, and I'm going to continue to keep doing this until he does start feeding on his own. He is just a normal, but at the end of the day every animal deserves a decent chance at life. So a lot of I've heard stories that people have gone, oh, it's just a normal, it's not feeding, and they dispose of that animal, and to me that's not right. This is going to be a great pet for somebody, whether they want to keep it as just a pet or they want to breed it, it doesn't matter. And they, it's an animal, it is a life, and it deserves the best chance that it can be given, the same as any other animal. So with these things you just have to have patience, take your time with them. If they're not getting it the first time, just keep persevering with them, and eventually they will get the hang of it and they'll grow up to be perfectly normal adults feeding as they should. So I'm going to sit here now, I'm just going to let this guy finish before I put him back in the rack, and then we're going to get the other one out and we're going to give that a go as well. Okay, so you can see this guy, he's almost finished, he's just getting the legs down, and then that's it, that would be that mouse completely gone. So it does pay off just to have a little bit of perseverance with these guys. You've got to have a lot of patience when you are feeding them like this. A lot of people can get impatient and try and force the mouse down. You can cause all sorts of problems and issues to the snake by doing that. But by just putting the head in and letting the snake take it of its own accord, you're just making it a little bit safer for the animal to feed. And again, it's not a huge meal for this guy, it's a nice small one that he can get down with ease. So again, if he isn't eating properly, he may be weak or anything like that, so this just ensures that he does get the meal down without any problems, and it's just more beneficial for him in the long run. Hopefully he'll crack on with this eventually, he'll get the hang of feeding properly, and I won't have to do this, and then I can hopefully get him up to a decent size and then get him up for sale. So that's gone down, I'm just going to let him finish that bit, I'm going to put him back in the rack and then we'll get the other one out. Okay, so this is another little guy that's been giving me some issues. Again, he is just another normal. Just focus the camera there for you. So he is another normal. And yeah, it's just these two that have been giving me trouble. Normally, I found in my experience the normals feed really well, and it's normally the other ones that give me trouble. But it's just these two in the last 5 clutches I've had. These two are the only two that have given me problems. Now this guy is very feisty. He does strike a lot. Yeah, he does strike a lot, but he just doesn't have that natural instinct to bite and then wrap. He's normally quite a good feeder, so again I've been assist feeding him. This will be the 3rd time I've assist fed this guy. These two were from the same clutch as well, so I don't know if it was something going on with that clutch, but they hatched out perfectly normal, just like all the others. All the others have taken off and fed perfectly. It's literally just these two. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to come in and I'm going to feed this guy exactly the same way that I fed the other guy. I do have to be a little bit more careful because, like I said, this guy is a little bit of a pistol. He does like to snap, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give him a little nudge on the head just to let him know I'm going to grab him. You can hear him hissing there. He's a very feisty guy, and you can see even though I am assist feeding them, they're not skinny, they are quite chunky. Again, that's just through giving them small meals. So like with the other one, I'm literally going to take him behind the head and get him back in his tub. You can see it can be quite fiddly at times, but you just got to have that patience, perseverance. You don't want to stress them out too much, you don't want to force them too much either. So again, you can see I've just got gentle pressure there behind his head, and all I'm going to do is again bring the prey item in, and I'm literally just going to place that into his mouth, nice and gently. Just work the nose of the prey in that way. And you can see how he wiggled out there? That's because I'm putting hardly any pressure on him whatsoever. I don't want to force him too much. So again, I'm just going to get him into the right position. Try and straighten his body out a little bit if you can, because that is just going to help you with what you need to do. Get his head in the right position, and again, take the prey item, and I'm literally just going to poke that into his mouth, nice and gently. And again, I'm just going to sit that there. Hopefully that camera is focusing. So I'm just going to place that in his mouth, and hopefully he'll get the hang of biting down. If he doesn't, then I'll push it in a little bit further, and then hopefully that way he'll get used to biting. So you can see him squirming a little bit, but I'm just going to keep that prey in his mouth for as long as I need to for him to actually take it. He has been quite good on the last one. He did actually bite straight away and then start to constrict it, which is really good, and I thought he was going to feed this week, but yeah, he's being stubborn. So you can see I've just lost grip there again. I'm just going to try and control him as much as I can. You see him squirming. I'm not causing him any pain here. I'm literally just holding him gently by the head. So again, I'm just going to hold this here until he does decide to take it. Okay, so what I did there is I just pushed the mouse in a little bit further, and then I've just let him go. So that's the second step. So the first step I'd normally do is just put the mouse in the mouth of the snake, give it a little wiggle, try and get that response for the snake to bite down. If that doesn't work, then I'll go on to the second phase, which is just to push the mouse in a little bit further, just to try and get those teeth hooked onto the mouse so they can't actually get that mouse out of their jaws that easily. And then once that happens, I put them down in the tub, let them go, and then at that point they'll have a little squirm like you saw, and now you can see he's just taking some deep breaths, and he's having a little think, seeing what is this, what's going on, and then hopefully he should start to eat this in the next couple of minutes. Okay, so let's see how this little guy did. He gave me a little bit of jip, and he looks... Have you eaten? Yeah? Oh yeah, looks like he did eat again. So yeah, the first one I ate fine. This guy, he gave me a little bit of trouble. You see he's got a nice little bump just there in the middle. But yeah, he gave me a little bit of trouble. Had to go backwards and forwards, back and forwards. I think I tried about 7 times in the end, and eventually he did decide to take it. So again, like I said, you've got to have patience with these guys. Oh, come on, in you get. You've got to have patience. You can't rush these things in today. You need them to do it at their own pace. So I'm really happy that they've both eaten now, and again I'm just going to keep trying them on that again and again until they do decide to feed on their own. Okay, so that's pretty much everything fed. As you can see, a lot of my snakes are quite lively. Unfortunately, quite a few of them didn't want to eat today. Again, can't be helped. Can't force them to eat if they've been eating fine, so a lot of them, they'll probably just wait till next week and they'll be absolutely fine waiting a week till food. But you can see when I do feed, I open that drawer up just enough so that I know that I've fed that one, just so I know which ones to go back to and check afterwards. So what I'll do now is I'll just leave them to do what they need to do. I'll probably come back in about 15-20 minutes, go through all the drawers, and then I'll make sure every single one is eaten. If anything is left over, then I will try and reuse it. I don't like to waste food. I've got a few bits left over in the bucket, but luckily it's nothing too big that hopefully I can go through my hatchling rack and grow-on rack. Hopefully some of them will just feed again and then take that food. And you might think from the feeding that I'm feeding some of these animals quite small meals. For me personally, I like to feed little and often. I don't want to feed the snake a big meal, then have it go a week, 2 weeks without eating. I like my animals to be feeding all the time, so I do them sort of little and often, and I give them sort of a bit of prey that's a little bit small. I don't really believe in power feeding animals. They'll grow when they grow, basically. I don't want to force them to gain size. I want them to gain size when they're ready. So I like a little often approach. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's a little insight into the other animals that I've got. I will be doing a proper video on all my adults and my adult males as well. A lot of them are sort of breeding them in and pairing up, so a lot of them have gone off their food, which is a good sign. Hopefully I'm going to have some clutches of eggs. I think I've got one girl that's due to lay in about 2.5 weeks time, so that'll hopefully be the first clutch of eggs this season for me. I will document everything. I will chuck a video out about it, show you how I do all my egg boxes and everything like that, the incubator I've got. A lot of it is made myself. It's all DIY just because I like to make stuff that's fit for my purpose, and that's basically what my entire channel is about, making stuff that is fit for me to use and what I like. So that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't followed me already, go over to my Instagram, A Tinge of Ginge. Go over there, follow me. I normally update on there first what's happening, and then the video comes out a day or two later. So if you want to get updated early, jump over there and see what I've got on there. There's a lot I'm going to be posting on there that isn't on my YouTube channel. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel because there's a lot more coming out. This is just scratching the surface of what I actually want to do with this channel. There's so many other things that I've got coming in the pipeline. It's just a case of trying to find time for them and actually put them into a video for you to see. So I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Whoa, no, that's me. That's me you're trying to eat. Blimey. Whew. Oh my god. Breathe.